afternoon, Alvin, and welcome to our Euro TV Live.
And by the way, it's now a year 2020. Let me ask you, Bill, what is your New Year's resolution?
It's just simple. Make life easier by not dwelling on negative things, but just be happy.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
it.
good thing. Anyways, uh, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Euro TV Philippines, and also please do like and share the official Facebook page of Euro TV Philippines, and you can visit www.eurotv.ph.
Actually, we came from a press conference just earlier at Kapihan sa Eurotel,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that we met one of the guests for, this earlier forum. And can you do the honors of introducing our special guest for today?
All right, we have here at Euro TV Philippines studio Mr. Patrick Shaw. All right, he is the CEO of film production company Seventh Galaxy Asia. He is the permanent resident of or card holder in the Philippines and the husband of most amazing Visaya lady
Wow.
ever. And they do have the website www.number 7 Galaxy Asia Production or galaxyproductions.net. All right, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Welcome
Welcome.
to Euro TV Live.
I know. Euro TV, it's pretty rad. Very cool.
So, as far mentioned, you were one of the guests for the earlier forum at Eurotel. And we were talking about,
Can I give a couple shouts out right from the very beginning?
sure.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, I want to thank a gentleman named Ramesh Arvind Salamente Laxon, rest in peace. Ramesh is the guy who introduced me to Manny Lopez. And Manny Lopez almost became a senator here in the Philippines. And it's because of Manny Lopez that I had the opportunity to meet Danny and Charlie. And
Okay. Euro TV.
Yeah.
All right,
And-
sir. Okay, go ahead, Bill.
No, it's okay.
Okay, we have Sir Patrick. He has the film production Seven Galaxy Asia. Now, sir, can you tell us how this company or this production started, or how did this production begins?
Sure, absolutely. I'm happy to do so. So, Seventh Galaxy itself, well, the story goes back a bit. In 1989, at the end of 1989, I got out of the Army. And my father and one of my mentors had this huge bet about how I would do in the Army. And the winner of the bet had to do something nice for me. So the winner of the bet was Nikki Gillette. And Nikki had the Gillette Hedge Fund up and going and gave me an opportunity of a lifetime to become a VP at the Gillette Hedge Fund and run public relations there,
Yeah.
which I did for the next 15 years and had an opportunity to really learn and master money. I've always been interested in the entertainment industry. I've just been drawn to it since I was a kid. You know, if you want to be in the entertainment industry, you have to have a certain passion that
Yeah.
a lot of people can't really understand. And most people who are outside of it think you're just nuts. But people who are inside it know that that's the commitment, the do whatever it takes attitude to
Yeah.
win
Yeah.
in this industry. And so I came into the industry through the back door by knowing financial stuff and being mentored by Nick Gillette for 15 years. So way back in December of 1989, I started the job, right, fresh out of the military. And I was young, and I knew it. And I kind of was young and had the pretty boy face, and I was thin. I know it's hard to believe, but it is true. I have a picture to prove it. Anyway, one of the first guys I hired was an African American gentleman who's about 10 years older than me, and his name is Ron Washington. And I hired somebody because I wanted somebody a little closer into their 30s that might garner some more respect, and he was my peer VP. Well, 15 years goes by, and we decided to go ahead and launch Seventh Galaxy Productions in 2004, when unfortunately the hedge fund shut down. And the hedge fund shut down because the Mr. Nicky Gillette, the owner of the hedge fund, got brain cancer. So it's one of those things. So they shut the company down, and we went ahead and launched Seventh Galaxy. So that worked out pretty good. We've been around the industry for quite a while and learning and mastering it, and have a lot of projects that are in development. We have a website. It's www.7thgalaxyproductions.net. And if anybody goes and looks at that, they can see there's a whole slate of film. We also have Seventh Galaxy Asia. So flash forward 13 years, and that puts us at 2 years ago, and we decided to go ahead and launch Seventh Galaxy Asia because, in large part, my Ron, who is also kind of like a mentor of mine, and but we're peers, and he's the CEO of Seventh Galaxy USA. Him being an African American gentleman, he has a good understanding of the history of how black people have been portrayed on TV. And if you go back a lot of years, it's hard for people of your generation to understand because you guys have Will Smith and so many, but those guys are standing on the shoulders of legends. In fact, the year I think it was the year I was born, or the next year in '67, there were two famous actors, and one of them was Katharine Hepburn, and the other one was Spencer Tracy. It was like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston.
On their time.
Right, of their time. And they were two huge white actors that took a giant risk and did this film with a guy named Sidney Poitier. And the film was called Look Who's Coming to Dinner. I encourage you guys to watch that movie. It's a tremendous film. But that kind of launched being able to show an African American in a positive role in things. Well, Asians are often in the same situation now. There's a lot of Asians. A lot of times when you see an Asian person, and I'm talking about Hollywood productions, not Filipino productions, or not any Asian-based production. So in the Hollywood productions, they're usually like the bad guy or whatever. They don't have necessarily a positive role. And we would like to be able to help change that over time. It's not going to all happen at once. We have to embrace the talent that's here and already current, and help some of those people get casted in more Hollywood pictures, and help Hollywood and the whole world be able to accept more from Asia. We think that there's a tremendous growing market from Asia. You can't deny it. Number one, you've got a billion people in India. Actually, I think it's 1.1 or 1.2. And it's like 1.7 billion in China. Even if you only have 10% of the people in China, and they're considered, strong middle class, that's 160 billion people. That's half the population of the United States would be middle class, even with only like 10%. So we want to see more folks get cast. We want to see more people have more opportunity and bring things. And I want to do that. It's part of my vision to see that happen here in the Philippines and to make that happen. And that's because, in truth, I'm so grateful for Filipino and Filipino culture. I first came here in 2013, and I met a family, and we thought something might happen with me and one of their daughters. But instead, it was one of those situations where you connect with somebody and you instantly love them like your brother or sister, like for some reason. And that's how we connected. But yet that family took me in, made me big bro, which I'm big bro in their family to this day, 6 years later. And I'm married to someone else, and my wonderful wife. And so all of my experiences in the Philippines have shown me Filipino people are so great, and I love how they just treat age as just a number. One thing I can tell everyone, in my wisdom in 53 years of life, I can tell you one thing for sure, that you can always bank on it. Take it to the bank. Life will not always happen how you plan it out.
True.
You'll plan it out a certain way, and so I know you mentioned earlier that you're 27. I hope I'm not throwing you on Front Street there. But when I was 27, I was young, and I was making a bunch of money in a hedge fund, and I wasn't thinking of any kind of relationships or anything serious about life. And I always thought, oh, I'll get married in my 30s. And 30s rolled around and didn't happen, and you know, so life doesn't always happen exactly as we had planned. But now I have an opportunity with my wife. Hopefully, God willing, we'll be able to have some children, and you know, some of the really cool things that really matter in life. And I think what really people most remember you by, it's not, you know, real success is not measured in how much money or how big your bank account is or whatever.
Yeah.
Real success is measured in how many people did you give a hand to and help them achieve their own level, not necessarily your level, but help them achieve their own level of success.
Right.
And that's what I think is measured. And so that's why I'm really passionate about this, because it's a chance to give back to the Filipino people and for what has been given to me.
Sir, can you name some of your produced
Projects.
films international?
Well, frankly, a lot of what we have is in development stage, so no, you guys wouldn't know about them. Stuff, a lot of projects that are in the past. I have worked on a couple of projects
Okay.
that are in the past, but one of them didn't make it into the theaters, and another one did. And so a couple of a great film that I recommend is a film called Trade of Innocence.
Mhm.
It's about sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys ever saw the Mighty Aphrodite show. It had an actress in there, and she won the Best Supporting Oscar
Oh.
actress.
Wow.
And so she's in the film, and also another actor named Dermot Mulroney. And Dermot Mulroney was in My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
He, and so it was a great opportunity to, you know, associate myself with stuff like that. But I'm not a guy with this big long resume or history of stuff.
Mhm.
We've been in the entertainment industry a long time, and it takes a long time. But a lot of people don't realize. See, you know, you guys have achieved some level of success in it, but it just didn't happen overnight.
True.
Do you know that most movies, even Hollywood movies, with funding from a studio and everything, the average time that that it's in development now is 8 years. 8 years. So
Kinda long.
take the film Avatar as an example. Avatar was in development for 12 years. 12 years. Now, do you think it's because they had a problem with getting money? No, they had James Cameron. He'd done
Mhm.
Terminator, and he was a worldwide famous producer. And the studio had,
Yes.
you know, they had the money, but there were other factors involved. For most people who do independent projects, that's what we specialize in. I love working with independent filmmakers,
Mhm.
and we have a special market. The average Hollywood movie right now is $75 to $100 million average, just for most Hollywood movies that you see come out. You can go to IMDb and check that information out.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are way
Yeah.
more. Obviously, the Star Wars and the Marvel stuff, but your average Hollywood movie, about $100 million plus another $50 million in marketing, which in the industry we call P&A.
Mhm.
Well, our expertise and specialty is working on projects that are between $10 million and $50 million for production, and up to $25 million. So like a max project for us would maybe be $75 million
They'll make a lot of money.
or half.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the great thing about it is we have an opportunity to really get A-list actors and stuff like that. The main film I'm working
Yeah.
on right now is a film called Saving Christmas
Yeah.
Forest. It's a happy
Yes.
ending Christmas film. It has a lot of, it isn't overt, but it has spiritual overtones in it.
Mhm.
So if you just think of what it says, saving Christmas Forest, saving Christmas Forest. If for those who have ears, they'll hear that. If not, then it's just going to be a great happy ending film, and about saving the trees and something that's worthwhile, depending
Yeah.
upon who you're talking to. But most projects these days, they're in development for a long time. It's not uncommon at all, and it takes time to get the funding and put everything together. We're very fortunate that we've attached an A-list director. His name is Tommy Bull.
Mhm.
And anybody can check him out. Tommy Bull on IMDb. He's a phenomenal director, and I'm really, really blessed that he's accepted to direct Saving Christmas Forest, and we're also going after some rather high-level A-list talent for the project. So, Saving Christmas Forest is a $35 million motion picture with a $25 million budget.
Wow.
One of the things that we're probably going to do is there's a couple of roles, modest, lower level roles, but they're still significant roles that we would like to put some Asians in, possibly even a
Wow.
Filipino or a Filipino actor or actress.
Yeah.
One person I would certainly consider targeting is Ann Curtis.
Oh.
Yeah,
And Curtis.
yeah,
She's pregnant as of the moment.
yeah, I heard that. So now I might not be able to get Ann after all because she's going to be
Yeah.
dealing with baby now. But that's okay.
Have you watched her movie By Bus?
Yeah, I've seen just a couple of things that she's acted in, and I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
But there, it may not be Ann. That's part of the entertainment industry too. You always
Yeah.
have to have
Yes.
multiple people that you line up and all of that. And the entertainment industry, like any other business, a lot of times people think it's all show, big old show, and
Yeah.
then little business. But it's really the opposite. It's big show, so it's just big enough, but it's actually even bigger business. This industry is a business like any other business,
Mm-hmm.
like selling concrete here in the Philippines. That's probably a
Yeah.
huge business.
Okay. So you have mentioned earlier that you support or you watch independent films. So have you ever watched independent films here in the Philippines? How do you find
I've
Yeah.
seen a handful, but I'm not fluent in Tagalog yet.
Yeah.
So that's
it's
why.
a work. It's a work
They're
in
more of Tagalog.
progress. It's a work in progress. So whenever I watch films that are in Tagalog, I kind of have to have somebody. I'm the guy you don't want to sit next to in the theater because I'm always nudging someone. What does that mean?
How about subtitles? I mean,
They help. So if they have, but not everything has subtitles.
okay.
But so yeah, I'm an advocate of subtitles, but I'm also a huge advocate even for Filipino films. I would like to see more Filipino films done in English. With if they're going to have subtitles, put the subtitles in Tagalog or whatever else. The reason for that is as soon as you move it to English, you are now marketing it to 5-6 billion people that
Yeah,
can see English.
internationally.
Yeah.
Versus how many people speak Tagalog in the world? Like 100 million, maybe.
Yeah.
If that,
Or
I mean, it's not 100 million because there's multiple languages spoken in the Philippines,
Mhm.
and there's like close to 100 million Filipinos worldwide, right?
Whereas if it's in English, I mean, there are a lot of people who, understands English more.
Yes, and I also want to do it because I want to encourage Filipinos to learn English and master English. This is something I talk about. If you have, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but this is just an honest opinion I've seen
Yeah.
since being here. If a person is a Filipino and they grow up and they have a high school education, but they're not really good, they can't speak English, or maybe they understand it, but which is a lot of people. They understand it, but they can't really speak
Speak
it.
it well.
They
Yeah.
get nosebleed, like I get nosebleed in Tagalog.
Tagalog.
But they're really almost setting their life up to. They're probably going to make 25,000 pesos a month or less for their entire life.
So that is in connection. Just wanted to add, in connection with Seventh Galaxy, how would you able to help Filipino people with your company?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to establish some films,
Yeah.
and we want to work and bring like post production here.
Yes.
One of the advantages that we could do is if we could bring American films to the
Mhm.
Philippines where post production was done here. Post production could be done here for probably even less than a third of the cost that it's done in
Yes,
the USA.
I believe
And
so.
I'm not talking about small money. That you could have a film where the post production budget might be $25 million,
Mhm.
or even on a smaller film like ours, like Saving Christmas Forest, you're looking at $3.5-4 million is the post production budget. That's in America. So if you guys do it for a third of that, it's still $1 million. $1 million is an amazing amount of money in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
It's a tons of money.
Yeah. So, and being able to do those and bring that revenue stream could create a whole another area of jobs for Filipinos. And these aren't just, these aren't the jobs that even pay 100,000 pesos a month. They pay way more than that,
Yeah, it's true.
and that's what I want to see. I want to see things done where we're able to uplift Filipinos and and do that by giving people opportunity.
So you might as well.
Post production is just one initial way to easily
Yeah.
get that done.
And you should have like a headquarters or office here in the Philippines,
Yes, so
right?
that's one of the things we're doing is we're,
Mhm.
obviously we're raising capital with investors and we're reaching
Yeah.
out. We want to reach to the Filipino community of investors, and we're doing that because I think that you guys have an interest in it. One of the areas that we really like is it for those who know Manila area or
Yeah.
Quezon City area fairly well. There's a city called Tandang Sora. It's a suburb of Quezon City. Are we in Tandang Sora now, or
No,
you,
it's
you are within Quezon City,
Quezon,
but
yeah.
it's
in
near
Quezon
here.
City, but close to Tandang Sora? Yeah.
Yes.
So the one I'm talking about, there's St. James is on one corner, McDonald's
Mhm.
is on the another corner. Everybody's got to go to McDonald's in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So you got 7-Eleven on the other corner. That's good. And then there's a big giant building over there, and that's where we were really seriously looking as a location for, bringing it not just offices, but even like a studio
Production.
like this.
Like
Get
studio.
get a production studio and something a little bigger, and I think it's a terrific location. And also, with traffic here in the Philippines, you could get a lot of people from Quezon City that would be absolutely thrilled that they don't have to go to BGC to get a decent job.
For how long have you been like visiting Philippines? Like
The first year I visited was in 2013, so I first
how
came
many
in
years now?
March of 2013, and then I came back again in 2016,
Uh-huh.
and then several times. I came back twice in 2017, and then I lived here almost all of 2018, from February to November, and then
Mhm.
this last year, business has had me going back and forth between the United States and the Philippines.
I'm curious. Do you think? So you've been here for a couple of years, going here for as a producer. What would be your concept if you were to make a movie in the Philippines? Would you be more focused on poverty?
Well, I'll tell you about one
Yeah.
of the projects that I definitely love and support. I have a good friend named Direct Ed Palmos, and he's a FAMAS
Direct
Award.
Ed Palmos.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
very successful director and a FAMAS Award winner. And he has a tremendous project about President Duterte's life, but it's about President Duterte when he was younger. The whole thing goes like President Duterte when he was, kind of running around being young, crazy, and dumb, and whatever. But at the end of the movie, it kind of ends with I, Rodrigo Duterte. So you
Wow.
see all of the it's almost like it's this tragedy or whatever, the lower side of life, and then yet at the end it ends with this is this guy who did all this hooligans and shenanigans and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff ended up becoming the president of
Philippines.
the nation. That's amazing, and so
No one expected that.
yeah, and so Ed knows Sarah Duterte and a couple of other people. So I think it's a tremendous thing. It's a tremendous message, and it's a message that goes beyond just the Philippines.
Yes.
You can show. I mean, if this person can have that adversity in their life at a young age, that's a human theme, and then they grow from there, and we don't need to show all the growth story because everybody
Yeah.
already knows that. What they don't know is the backstory before that.
We really have a lot of inspiring people here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
If you
Oh.
get to just to stay here and meet people like Manny Pacquiao, right?
Oh yeah,
You-
man, he's an icon. I love Manny.
So again,
Although Manny, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you, you're my second favorite boxer because I love Floyd Mayweather, and I think he's the greatest defensive boxer in the history of
Yeah.
boxing. So I'm sorry to all my Filipino friends that I like Floyd. Please forgive me 1,000 pardons, but Manny's number two. If
Yeah.
it's Manny against anybody but Floyd, I'm rooting for Manny.
yeah.
Yeah,
And again, he still has the same story from slums to
Oh
because
yeah,
of passion. You know, you
Rags
get
to
to
riches.
yeah.
yeah. And but it's not always just about obtaining riches. I mean, it's nice to get money and wealth and all that in life, but it's more important about what we do with it. And all money. I once heard a millionaire friend of mine tell me that money is like a giant magnifying glass. He said it takes your character and it puts a magnifying glass on your character. Think about it. We already in our lives do good with whatever little money God has given to us, whatever that is, whether it's little or big. All getting big money does is allow you to try to do more good,
Mhm.
hopefully for other people, and that's what I'm about. I want to see, I'm about bringing people of goodwill together. I don't care I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your economic background is. I don't care what your faith system is. I care about if you're a person of goodwill and you bring those together.
Yeah.
That's how you win. That's how people win.
So you have mentioned earlier about President Rodrigo Duterte. So if there's one thing that is President Duterte has made that is remarkable for you, what it is? Can we know it?
Well, let me just say this at the outset, and I said this already.
Yes.
I say the number. If you're going to think about a president is essentially the chief executive of the nation.
Yes.
The job of a chief executive of a nation is to present a compelling vision to the people. Then the people vote and they decide do they want to go with this person's vision or the other
Right.
person's vision or whatever. But
Mhm.
we're going to go with, so the people say we're going to go with Rodrigo Duterte and his vision. Then the president's job is to enact that vision and be passionate about it.
Yes.
And that's what I love about both him and Donald Trump. I think they're both men that have a vision. Not everybody in the Philippines loves Duterte. Not everybody in the
Yes,
Philippines,
you're right.
But what you can count on is that the man he has integrity in his word, and he actually does what he says he's going to do.
Yes.
Yes,
And
indeed,
I-
he is the man of his
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, so I think that's why I love him, and I would, it would be a great honor to meet him, and especially as a producer, I think that he might want to hopefully meet me someday because there's a lot of stuff we could do. But with President Duterte, I think it's a great thing that he's an ardent defender of the Filipino people,
True.
and he doesn't he doesn't he defends all of the Filipino people within what his vision is. But that was what he was elected to do. And I think President Trump is kind of a similar thing.
Mhm.
So there's you don't have to get political, but look, life is about bringing people together. You don't always have to agree on anything. So many times we see people and they say, well, we agree on everything or whatever. It's like you two met me today,
Yeah.
and I'm 53. All right.
Yes.
What if you two had in your box ideas that, I really only want to hang out with folks my own age.
Yes.
I'm not your age.
Yeah.
And I'm not your age. If you would have had that paradigm in your heart, then none of the message that I could share with you or the wisdom of life that I gained or anything would you have been able to have an opportunity to take in. And it goes both ways.
Mhm.
See, I get energy from you guys. I
Yeah.
see that youth and enthusiasm, and I remember having, that, and I still have it to some extent, and I want to see more of it. I want to see it shared. So I think people have to start embracing people with differences. Diversity wins.
Yes.
Not just diversity of, different colors or economic, every kind of diversity.
Yeah.
Even diversity of thought.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Diversity in films.
yes, diversity in film,
Yep.
and that's one of the things that I want to see brought to the Philippines, and have people that live in the Philippines have a genuine opportunity to actually break into Hollywood.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
That may only be,
If
that may only be a handful of people, but at least it's a
Yes.
genuine breakthrough. Um, and the whole world needs to see that. One of the wonderful things about the Philippines that I've seen is the humility of the people. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people in my country that can learn the lessons of humility from uh, things here. When I first got to the Philippines, they had one of those toilets that doesn't even flush,
yes.
and I had to do it. It was, a little bit of a humbling experience, but it was okay. It was okay, and it made me grow as a person and made them okay.
Sir, going back to the films, since you're a film producer internationally, can you specify the difference between international films
Films
and
and
the domestic films or local films here
That's
in
a
the
great.
Philippines?
That's a great question. And first of all, domestic films, those are films that are done in a specific market or a specific country and targeted only at the folks in that country. So
Okay.
obviously here in the Philippines, you have a whole entertainment industry around
Yeah.
that, but all those films are targeted at Filipinos, predominantly Filipinos that live in the Philippines, but also maybe a few Filipinos that live outside of the Philippines. Then you have places like Thailand or in India. They have a pretty thriving business there in India, but those are the things that define those markets. What I want to do is I want to help Asia be able to get some of their films. Like if you saw Slumdog Millionaire,
Mhm.
that's a film that was essentially an Indian film that broke through worldwide.
Yeah.
I've heard
And,
of
Uh-huh.
it. Yes.
and broke through worldwide, and I think it won Best Picture,
Yes. Yes.
right? And um, that's what I want to see happen.
What I'm familiar of is the
So-
Cannes Festival. I don't think if it's an international recognized um, like awarding or recognition, but I think that's how far the Philippine film goes. It's like a Cannes. I'm not sure. It's a Cannes. The recognition. It's like an awarding ceremony. So I'm not really sure if it's recognized international or just from a specific regions in the
Well, a
world.
lot of film festivals do recognize like regional stuff. I think actually there's a Manila Film Festival going on right now.
Yeah.
And in fact,
through
that's why
December.
Star Wars. They took Star Wars out of the theaters right now because
Because of-
they're highlighting Filipino films, which is great. But what I want to do is I want to hope to see more Filipino films that are done in English, so we can market the film worldwide, so that people all over the world can do it. That's what international is, to answer your question.
Yes.
So in a Hollywood film, they do it in English, and it's done to a worldwide audience. Not just people in the United States, but in Canada, all over Europe, and every other place.
The whole world.
The
can watch
whole
and
world.
Understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So domestic is obviously a smaller market, and obviously the worldwide market, international, is the largest market. So
Okay.
hopefully you're potentially selling to all 7+ billion people that live on the planet.
Okay. That's probably gonna make a lot of money for the films produced here in the Philippines. But one last question, sir. If you have any message that you will impart for our aspiring directors and film producers here in the Philippines, what will it be? And do you have any message and suggestion for them?
Yeah, it would be the same thing I would tell anybody who's going into acting, or somebody like you guys who you're working in reporting. Look, in this industry, you have to have do whatever it takes attitude. That's it. Not I'm going to do this for this long or that long or whatever. I'm going to try it. This is not a try industry. You're either so passionate about it that you can't do anything else, or you don't meet the standard. And all of the people that I've met that have achieved any level of success in this industry, that's their level of commitment.
Yeah.
And that's what I would encourage. If you're a Filipino producer or whatever, go for it. Have a clear vision in your mind. Chase that vision. Chase it with a passion that is burning inside you, so that, like I said, that you can't do anything else but that. And also tell yourself that there's no choice but success. I think that there, to a degree, success is a choice. I believe that we attract what we are. That is a very
You
powerful
said that one
spiritual truth.
earlier.
That's a good idea. Do
Yeah.
whatever
Whatever
it
it
takes.
takes.
If you've ever seen the video The Secret, they talk a lot about how we attract what we are. And I think that's really important. And the other thing I would say is I hope that this is able to reach people who have a
Absolutely.
capacity and ability to be able to be investors, because it's the arts, the things that we do in the arts and those things that last for forever. Just imagine if somebody could say, hey, I was part of the family that helped It's a Wonderful Life happen. That's one of the most classic Christmas movies of all time. Or Miracle on 34th Street. That's what I'm trying to do with Saving Christmas Forest. That's not just what I'm trying to do, it's what I'm going to do. It's what I will do. And that's another factor. You have to believe that the mountain is there when all you see is a little bitty, not even a hill.
Pile of like
Like a bump.
soil.
You see a
Like a
little
bump.
bump in the road and you believe the mountain is there. That's faith. And that's what it takes to succeed in this industry, an undying perseverance. And that's why I want to share one last thing. Even in the Hollywood film industry, the average time that a movie is in development, meaning they're not ready to start pre-production or actually make the movie during production, it's 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
In counting.
So,
And with the
Like with
with the 8 years, it might succeed or might not, right?
it may never succeed. So some people say, I'm sure you guys have met somebody like that. They're like, well, what are you doing? Don't you know that you're just chasing that dream and ain't nothing ever gonna happen and you're... Get rid of those toxic people in your life.
Yeah.
Kick them to the curb and don't even embrace and find people that believe in you and your vision and in whatever area of life you want to achieve. If for me, one of the things that I'm trying to work on right now is weight loss. Oh gosh,
Weight
big
loss.
sugar.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. The truth is, I'm
Yeah.
an old school dope fiend with 16 and a half years
Mm.
clean, almost 17 years clean. But the one remaining addiction is food. Man, I love to eat. And so I might have to get the weight loss surgery thing done because it'll help extend my life and all of that. So I have to surround myself with the people that are already, I've got 3 friends, close friends, that have already done this. And they've achieved that in their life. So you have to surround yourself with positive
Yes.
people. Maybe you've got everything going in your life. Maybe you're doing fairly well economically, or you're comfortable economically, and you've got other things going on in your life, but your spirituality sucks, and it's in the cellar, and you don't have anything. Well, you better find some folks that are on that level that you want to get to. And association is very important, because you are sitting here today, and you are also sitting here today because of all of the series of choices and events that you've made in your life
Yes.
that led to this. It wasn't some overnight success. That's what happens in Hollywood. See, there'll be this thing, and they'll say, oh, Patrick Shaw, who the heck was he? Oh, he was that guy that did Saving Christmas Forest. I'm talking about 2 years from now. And it'll have been in the theaters, and it was successful worldwide, and suddenly I'm this overnight success. Baloney. I've been working on this since 2004,
Yeah.
right? So We're not an overnight success in anything. Anything that's worthwhile in life, anything at all, you're going to have to put energy and passion and vision into it to try to achieve it. And if your goal is so small that it's easy for you to achieve, then it's too small. It's not a good goal.
Okay, that's a good thing. We have a bunch of message and learnings also and knowledges that
Yes.
we have gained from our guest tonight. But sir, do you have upcoming events or projects here in the Philippines? Can you invite
Yes.
them to support you and your company,
Well,
your production?
we're definitely looking to be able to meet people in the entertainment community here. Definitely looking to be able to meet people in the investment community here, and definitely looking to take Seventh Galaxy, and hopefully we have a partnership with Euro TV as part of that.
Of
I
course.
want to see this grow. I've already told them about that location in Tandang Sora, where there's a nice big building there, and I have a vision, and I believe that there's going to be an office for Seventh Galaxy Asia there, and we're going to make it happen.
We're also looking forward for it.
Yes.
Well, pray about it like everything depends on God. Get your butt to work like everything depends on you.
Put God above anything else.
Above,
Yeah,
above,
yeah.
above
everything
everything else. It's because without God, we don't have anything.
And without passion and without doing or executing the things that must be done, of course, it won't be done, right?
Yes.
Do you have other shout outs before we end the show?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Shout outs. You have
Do you have
greet your
anything to
family?
say to our
well,
viewers?
friends.
I've got to give you guys a couple of last things. First, I want to thank Ramesh, because without him, God bless him, may he rest in peace. Without him, I wouldn't have got connected to a lot of the people that I got connected to, and I wouldn't be in this room with you guys right now. And I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Manny Lopez, who I met for Ram. And without Manny Lopez, I wouldn't be here today. And
Without Manny Lopez, you
Yeah.
were not able to meet our CEO,
CEO.
Yeah.
Dr. Danny
exactly,
Magajas.
I wouldn't have been able to meet your CEO. I wouldn't have an opportunity to do this. And this is great exposure, and I'm very grateful. I really, truly am. The other thing I just want to say at the end is I have a limited knowledge of Tagalog, but I believe that I've invented the most important sentence in the entire Tagalog language. And huh? Okay, but I'm going to tell them this one though.
What?
This is a sentence that I invented with the limited knowledge of Tagalog that I have, and I live it as a daily mantra. And I promise you, if you will take this upon you, great things are going to come to you. And it's goes like this: Mahal na mahal kita, maganda maganda marina asawa ko.
Oh.
If you say that every day and you take it in, if you're a lady and that's what you're looking for, then you say pogi asawa ko.
All right.
But whatever it is, you bring that into your heart, and good things are going to flow from
Yeah,
there.
everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's
And I
probably.
want to thank both of you guys personally.
You're most welcome. Thank
Big
you.
handshake, and
You're welcome.
guys,
Thank you. My pleasure.
wonderful today. I've had a wonderful time talking with everybody, and hopefully we can put that message out there. Spread your light everywhere you go.
Yes.
That's what it's really all about. Spread your light and lift other people up. There's a lot of. Don't be one of those people that feels like you got to stomp on somebody else to make yourself successful,
Yeah.
because you don't. You don't. But also, don't be one of those people that's afraid to let your light shine. Right? We have to let our light shine.
In all honestly, sir, we are really honored and blessed to have you
Yeah.
here.
And
you
also
have
for
to meet with
choosing the forum earlier, and also accommodating your TV Philippines.
Yeah. And
For
letting
being
you borrow
present,
my
yeah.
jacket when you got cold.
I'll borrow it
The fan
afterwards.
zone.
Anyways,
So she was smart. She moved me over here to the fan zone, so that anyway.
It's fine.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patrick Show. And Belle, do you have any shout outs?
Oh yeah, Happy New Year to all. And this is you'll be seeing me from time to time. Your TV Live. And yes, thank you, boss. Also would like to thank your TV family for always giving me the opportunities to shine. And yep, to all my viewers and to everyone who's supporting me, really so much to my family. Thank you very much.
All right. So thank you so much for our live viewers on Facebook.
Yes.
And you know what, guys? Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, EuroTV Philippines, and just visit www.eurotv.ph. And also, please do like and share our official Facebook page at EuroTV Philippines. And before we end, Bill, I'd like to thank the CEO President of EuroTV Philippines, of course,
Yes.
our boss, Dr. Danilo Bimangas, with this opportunity to talk with our international
today.
film producer. And I mean, I'll keep on saying this one. We're really honored and blessed to have this kind
Yes,
of.
and also to
Yes.
our fellow Filipinos, Sir Patrick Shaw really has a very, very nice vision in terms of the films or making films and also giving opportunities for Filipinos to earn more. So isn't that nice that we have like a foreign investor or a film producer who's
Yeah.
really thinking what's best for our country. So we should be thankful out of it.
All right. And of course, I'd like to take this opportunity na magpasalamat po sa lahat ng kamag-anak ko dyan sa sukat. And ngayon po araw ay libing po ng tito ko at sa lahat po ng Bigueras family, condolence po. And
Condolence.
kami po dito sa EuroTV Philippines and of course yung family ko ay nakikiramay po. Ayan, Bel.
We hate to cut this off, but
Yes, but we have to.
so I think we're going to put an end to our program. Thank you so much, Sir Patrick.
I
for
definitely want to
being
thank
here.
everybody, and I want to thank Danny especially for making this happen. So it's been a wonderful event today.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And this has been Alvin Pelabello.
Also, Isabel Fern.
And sir,
Patrick Shaw.
yes, we have here the tagline.
Yes.
Before we end our show, we have to say at dahil sa EuroTV,
Sikat
sikat ka.
ka.
All right, let's do it. And 1, 2, 3. At dahil sa
Sa EuroTV,
EuroTV, sikat
Sikat
ka.
ka.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.